So one question I often get asked is how effective are nunchucks? So the answer is it depends. It depends on taking into account what nunchucks really are, and also, even more importantly, it takes into account who the martial artist is using them.
So here I am just demonstrating some basic combos with the nunchucks. Just back and forth, forehand, backhand. Simple 1-2 combination. The beautiful thing about nunchucks is with each strike and each motion, as a general rule you can add an extra loop, which I do in this demonstration. Extra loops can be used as feints and rhythm interruptions. And here I am just demonstrating the mechanics of striking by throwing a few punches, simple hooks, simple crosses, as well as some elbows. As you can see, the rotation of my hips and shoulders, that is where all the power is being generated, which transfers over to striking with the nunchucks.
And what you do see in movies is you see a lot of people, you've probably seen it, they sort of do all these nice beautiful patterns, you know, aerials, catching it, up in the air, all sorts of stuff like that. Master, if you go watch my bow staff video, doing stuff like that can be good for active recovery and hand-to-eye coordination training. When it comes to a real fight, I'm not going to be standing in front of my opponent doing all this flashy stuff. No, I'm just going to hit. Okay?
So here I am demonstrating flash versus thunder. When I say flash, what I mean by that is flashy spins. These are all very visually impressive, but they're not very effective for combat. However, they are good for hand-to-eye coordination training. They're a good meditation through movement, and they also work as good active recovery. And here I'm demonstrating thunder. When I say thunder, what I mean is effective striking. I keep the weapon between myself and my opponent, and this is far more effective for combat.
Because they're quite a small weapon, they can be concealed, sort of imagine them behind your back, tucked into your trousers. They can be drawn quite easy, very easy to make, very easy to disguise as farming tools, which you find in many cultures. And the main thing is that the martial artists using them can use that versatility to their advantage. You know, if they're striking an opponent, those swirling motions could be used to mix new strikes and everything like that. And also, because it's so small, I can still kick and sort of box and put in a multitude of strikes like that before putting in the flail.
So due to the lightweight and versatility of the nunchuck, it can be used to mix in other striking methods, such as kicks, elbows and punches. What I can also do is, using the more flashy styles, the passes and catches, is I can disguise my stance switches as well as other strikes. That way I can keep my opponent on their toes and always guessing what move is coming next. So this is just a simple double up on one side, followed by a hook kick to the other side.
Now what you don't really tend to see in many movies is the way people block with nunchucks, blocking weapons like so. We've experimented at our club a little bit. When they're string, you can, if you're quite adept, catch weapons in the string, and then that can initiate grappling and give you the opportunity to get in on your opponent, disarming them. I wouldn't bank on that though. I have heard rumours that apparently you would wrap it around, if it was a chain one, you'd wrap it around the sword. Japanese swords in particular are quite brittle, so if you clench it you can shatter the sword. I don't know how true that is. That could just be a load of hogwash. I'm not an expert on that. If someone could fill me in, that'd be awesome.
So here I am demonstrating some simple blocks into grappling techniques. Now just because you can block with the nunchuck doesn't mean that it's the best at blocking. Here you see me getting some effective catches, which I seize the opportunity to grapple. And here you see some unsuccessful attempts at the same technique. As you can see, these cost me quite dearly, and Stefan is able to land his screamer several times to my head before I'm able to land anything significant. And this was whilst I was actively trying to catch his weapon, as opposed to just letting it happen naturally.
Because it's quite small. Now, where would I rank this in terms of a weapon? The problem is many people, when they see these flashy moves in movies, and they see Bruce Lee doing all this, Jackie Chan and what have you, whatever flavour of the month martial artist it is in the movies, doing all these crazy moves, you know, for some people they think that means that these are complete nonsense, that none of it works, they're just a piece of crap, and you wouldn't want one in a fight whatsoever. And for other people, they think it means that they're like these mystical, magical weapons that can defeat any opponent with just a couple of spins. And as I said, the reality is, two pieces of stick tied together, guys, is completely dependent on who's using them. If that person knows what they're doing, they know about feints, how to use those double spins to their advantage, yeah, sure, it's going to look flashy and it's also going to be effective. But for the most part, if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they might try those flashy things, they might fail, or they might just end up swinging it like a club, okay? Which at the end of the day is still going to be very effective. But where would I rank this as a weapon? I'd rather have this over a knife any day of the week. If someone came into my home and I had to defend myself, I think the nunchuck would probably be the weapon that I'd like the most. It's small enough that I can swing it around in a house with a bit of control. You know, it's long enough that someone with a knife, I've got a range on them, and it allows me to block and grapple, do everything that I need to do. That being said, if someone had a sword, I'd rather have a sword than a pair of these, to be honest. And again, for me, that just comes down to range. But the main thing I'd like to explain to people is just that these aren't, because of depictions in movies and because of anime and because of, I think, our association with Eastern martial arts and mysticism, that these are magical weapons. Or on the flip side, because it's associated with Eastern mysticism and in Western Europe and Western civilization, a lot of people perceive those as complete hogwash. Rather than looking at the facts, they think that these are useless. So the key here, guys, is balance. They're not useless and they're not magical, but they are useful. And they're about as useful as the person using them.
So here I have some open sparring footage of the nunchuck versus the screamer. Myself in the black with the nunchuck and Stefan in the blue with the screamer. As you can see, I'm landing several strikes to the head of Stefan as he's coming in, nice intercepting blows. Most of his shots are landing on my forearms. He has a tendency when he strikes to not know whether he's using a sword or a baton. See out there, he's stuck it out, poking me in the belly with not much commitment, which allowed me to grab it. And here I do a nice little combo, do the forehand, backhand rather, a few times. And then what I do is I double up one of the loops. As I see he's reacting to the backhand, so I double up and go for a forehand strike which lands directly on his temple. When I'm striking with this weapon, I'm looking for quality over quantity, and the problem is as you can see, is when I strike, if there's a pause in the rhythm and I haven't got hold of the nunchuck correctly, I can be rushed. Now here, Stefan attempts to rush me, and he eats a very quick intercepting strike. And again, using all these feints, I'm able to keep him on his toes and land at will a lot of strikes to his head. But again, it's quite difficult whilst I'm striking to then go back into defending. It takes me a slight moment to get the nunchuck back in my hand for both hands to defend. And as you can see, I can be rushed from time to time, which results in me taking a hit or two more than I needed to.
And I'm also using nunchucks, so I don't always have to use it like the flail. What I can do is I can use it like a baton, small little sticks like this. You know, not every martial arts situation is going to be 1v1. I want to kill the man that's in front of me. It might just be, I've disarmed him, I want to beat him into submission, and that's when that can come in handy. You know, I might do too much damage swinging that around like that.
So here I am just demonstrating some baton techniques. 2 backhand strikes, low to high, followed by a side kick to the middle.
martial artists using them, it completely depends. Some people like to have it behind them like so, like a little boxing guard, sort of stay out like that. Some people prefer to have it in front of them. Some like it tucked under the arm, that's my personal favourite. That way I feel more in control, like I can throw kicks easier from this angle and switch my feet easier, everything like that. And when you're switching hands and everything like that, it gives you the space to throw stuff that you might not normally be able to throw with a sword or something like that. Something that would be too cumbersome and heavy. This gives you that versatility, that gives you that movement, and that's why it's a fun weapon to use. It's a weapon of movement and fluidity. And fluidity is super important for any martial artist.
And on that point of fluidity, just discussing the idea of adding extra loops. So as you can see in this combo, I add an extra loop. This can be used as a feint or a rhythm interruption, as well as using kicks at the end of my striking. Here again, just showing in my sparring footage, how adding the extra loop can be used as a feint and rhythm interruption in order to throw off your opponent. I can see that Stefan is reacting, attempting to parry my backhand strike. And so I decide to fake the backhand, swing around and come for the forehand, which lands very effectively.
For the most part, these are just good fun to use. And the likelihood of using one in a real life situation is pretty damn low. But recently in England we've had a lot of knife attacks, a lot of home invasions. You never know when you're going to need to know stuff like this. So yeah, keep your eyes out. You never know when it'll come in handy.
So if you enjoyed this video guys, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to link a couple of other videos here, such as my bow staff and also some grappling breakdowns.